Hey, what's up? It's Frano here. I'm just going to do a little bit about a bit more decoding the English language tonight, because it's occurred to me. Well, I've had a lot of realizations tonight, and I believe I have taught quite a few people. I've given them the information that they need to work on the positive momentum path and work up with spirit. On that note, I'm just going to talk about. I'm going to simplify, because I believe that technology is almost a form of like an art. It's a form of modern craft and wizardry almost. So on that note, basically, yeah, English language was created in almost a form of like a wizard-esque. You could compare it to. One second. Put my kettle on. You could compare it to kind of wizards around a table conjuring up a spell. Is the men who originated the English language, really, truly. They were very, very intellectual, smart thinkers who were obtaining all these amazing discoveries about how we could express ourselves verbally into what ended up being this amazing language that I know very well. Unfortunately, I'm not well rehearsed in, or I'm not fully comfortable in any other language apart from body language, and I'm quite good in the combination of verbal and physical expression and also musical expression. So I'd like to say I'm getting better and better with musical expression all the time. So but what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the word what. W-H-A-T, or W hat, if you will. So I'm going to start with, this is a shout out to Astro here, because Astro is the Grand Master, and he has really moved me in a positive way. He has basically, since it's taken a few years for it to really kick in. I know Astro works with yin and yang. He works both sides of things, but what he has done is given me the opportunity to really get rid of a lot of negative habits and cancel and basically delete a lot of negative sorry for my words there, to get rid of a lot of negative things, habits, etc., that were actually really, really just feeding my ego and putting me on a negative spiral. Every time I'd get up to a place of positivity, I would fall into the same trap. And this is a common recurring theme for a lot of people, like whether it be eating junk food, like masturbating too much, going out and feeding their ego in some way or another, or disconnecting from others, etc., etc. There's so many ways you can put yourself in another direction, which is counterproductive to what spirit wants and what the planet needs. So basically, yeah, I'll go back into what I'm talking about, which is the word what. So Astro was always saying you need to flip the M in me to create we. So there's the M, and then there's the W. Obviously, I was a big fan of a game when I was a child, a popular game you probably would have known if you're a fan of video games on the Game Boy. So basically, what happened was when you get to the last level, the W switches to an M, I think, when you win the game. But really, we want an inversion of that. We want me switching to we, which is basically as simple as form of spirituality that you'll ever know. It's don't focus on yourself, focus on the whole. the whole, others, everyone, we, us. So what is basically, if you consider W representing we and hat, W hat. So the hat is simply the expression or the different thing that is clothing us. So it is the external addition to what we actually purely are. So you could see on a basic level of W is us or spirit, and the body is the hat. The body is the vessel of what is purely our being. Or you could say the body is the being. The body is us. We are scientifically a body. So I'm going to go from copper being a representation of, or a nickname for the police force, which is a copper being a conductive. Sorry, I'm just testing my camera. Battery's still good. Copper's a conductive wire made of metal, which basically is the vessel or the physical thing that transports this digital information through. The thing that lets us be able to hear each other on phones. It's because copper wiring is used within these devices to. It's conductive of electricity, and electricity is just a kind of energetic form of what we are putting into these, putting into microphones, and then it's being transmuted or, digitized into a form of information that we can perceive and fool ourselves into believing is real. And really it's not real, but it is a valid form of representation. So that's copper, and then if you look at gold, it's just a more conductive metal. It's the most valuable thing, really, one of the most valuable elements or tools of conductivity on the planet, which is very, very, it goes deep in history of humankind, which I'll actually have to do more research and research on, because gold is like, it's been valued for a very, very long time, and many people have died over gold, and many people are still dying today over gold in some way or another. So, I mean, it's a big thing, but it's not as divine as human existence and human life. And human communication cannot be really put into something that can be compared to a metal or an element, because we are a combination, a hybrid. This is a question I've posed. This is a question I've put out there, so this is a question I must answer. There are a lot of people, whether you like to believe it or not, that can actually use themselves, use their bodies, use their will, use their chi energy, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Whatever you want to believe in, it doesn't matter. There are people that are using energy and actually tapping into the finer or less visited realms, if you will, and they are moving wind, and they are setting fire to things, or using warmth and heat. They're people that are energy healers, that are actually healing people with human touch. There are many things like aerokinesis, hydrokinesis, telekinesis, telepathy itself. The human potential is actually a lot greater than probably technological imitations have succeeded to develop. So basically, yeah. I mean, going back to the word what. So we talked about what, W-A-T-T, as electricity. W hat. We talked about the fact that it's an extension, it's a question as well of how we want to understand things. We ask what is going on, which is basically meaning not what is going on in the spiritual realm, because that does not need to be questioned. We are asking what is going on as an extension or an addition to what is truly known, and what does not need to be communicated sometimes, because When we're in a, you know, any environment where there are many of us around and many living things around, or a human, whatever it may be, we do not necessarily always need to speak, because there is a vibrational connection, spiritual connection. You know this, whether you believe this. So this connection is felt, and it's known. I mean, people say you judge someone within a few seconds of meeting them. You may say judge. Judge isn't the best word. I'd say the word is you. Not feel necessarily, but you connect. I wouldn't even say connect, because connect is used too much in technology. Let's say you kind of gel or drop with someone, or like I'm thinking of water, like water droplets coming together and going apart again. You kind of intertwine is a good word. There are many words, but when you are passing someone or close to someone, and you connect, there is a connection that doesn't have to be understood, and this is something that doesn't necessarily involve physical, like things or verbal things, because the language is just a tool for us to express what is. So yeah. Oh yeah, and the last thing now, I'll just end on this. So what is a lot like water, 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 which is basically, water is the thing, it's like the fuel of life. Water, sun, and oxygen are the things that give us life more than anything else, really. Obviously we need nutrients and stuff, and other things like practices of relaxation to survive and thrive. So yeah, just think about that. What? That's, I've babbled on. So peace in and out, with love and my high vibration, my full gratitude, even though I'm holding the camera with one hand. Yeah, I think things are going smoothly and going in the right direction. So yeah, let's keep things going well.